Okay, hello everyone. My name is Adam here, and I'm going to give a natal chart to REO. Alright, if you know who you are, this chart is for you. And I'm just going to start off with the rising sign, and we're going to go from there. So, you are endowed with Libra rising, which means it's all about, for you, making choices and finding a balance. And this overlays your whole chart. That's why you're endowed with that. With the personality of the sun in Cancer, dealing with your beliefs. So being a nurturing mother, that's your personality, right? When it comes to beliefs. So nurturing your beliefs, that's your personality. All right, moving on here. And here we have the emotional needs of the moon in Ophiuchus in the first house, right? Because the moon is in Ophiuchus, you are a natural born shaman. So the emotional needs of being a natural born shaman when it comes to your personal direction. See, because it's right here. Okay. Now, to convey your message of wherever Mercury is, well, Mercury happens to be in Gemini, and it's in the ninth house, and it's dealing with higher education. So to convey your message of communicating the need to communicate. All right. And Mercury is naturally in its placement there of Gemini being in Mercury there. So, and that once again is dealing with your higher education. So conveying the message of communicating your higher education through communication and negotiation, things like that. Whether it be with relatives or just some social group of people. All right. You love and value, here we are, Venus and Cancer. So you love and value being nurturing towards, in this sense for you, trips and spiritual journeys. So you take a nurturing approach when it comes to your trips and spiritual journeys. And this, once again, because Libra is rising and Venus naturally rules Libra, that's really important for you, because that is what is the most important thing, is nurturing those trips and spiritual journeys, whether they be journeys, long journeys to foreign countries, or even journeys within, right? Okay. So now you decide to take action by wherever Mars is. Mars happens to be in Leo here, and it's in the ninth house. And what it's going to be dealing with is your super conscious mind. So you decide to take action by inspiring others with your super conscious mind, because Leo is all about inspiration and entertainment. Okay. And now we move on to Jupiter. So take action and then bring joy and gladness by, okay, Jupiter here is in Aries, dealing with work. So Jupiter also represents expansion. So joy, happiness, expansion. When it comes to Aries, Aries is all about taking the initiative, overcoming challenges when it comes to work. Okay. Now moving on to the part of fortune. And luck and fortune too, right here. Your part of fortune is in Aquarius, and it's in the fourth house, and where it's placed is going to be dealing with genetic roots. So in this sense, empowering yourself and others through your genetic roots. You broke the mold when you came through, and it's a fortunate thing to have you. All right. It would benefit you to go through the lessons in life, and that represents these here. Saturn, your lessons in life in Ophiuchus, but Saturn here, because this little symbol right here, is retrograde. And when Saturn is retrograde, you're actually reliving a life you once had, a previous life that may have been cut short due to some uncertain or unfortunate circumstances. In this sense, because it's dealing with your personal resources, that you probably could have been involved in a burglary or something and unfortunately passed. So now you're in this life to realize that lesson for you, this lesson, because it is an Ophiuchus, learn how to heal and protect the oppressed, right? When it comes to your personal resources. Okay, and now after that lesson, to heal your deep wounds over here, Chiron, the shaped like a key, obviously. That's why I like to call it Chiron. The wounded healer in Taurus in the 8th house, where it's placed, is specifically dealing with the occult involvement. So, wounded healer, in that placement, you're basically healing these deep wounds of your safety and security and making others pay as well. So healing those deep wounds, like where you maybe you felt insecure and now you brought yourself some security and you're able to help others along the path as well. So the wounded healer, that's what usually happens. The wounded healer will heal themselves and then they will heal others once they figure out that, going through that trauma and everything in life, especially when it comes to occult involvement, the hidden things. All right. So now we're going over to receive your talents and gifts, right? To then receive your talents and gifts after you've cleared that trauma over here in Uranus. Uranus is over here and it's happens to be retrograde. That means you're a rebel with a cause. And because it is in Ophiuchus, basically means that you're a wanderer and a transformer when it comes to what? We're going to find out. When it comes to your money. So whenever you're dealing with money, you do it in a transformative way or a wanderer type of way because that's how it is and you're a rebel when it comes to money. Alrighty. Now we're moving over to turn your dreams, which represents Neptune here, into, because it's Sagittarius, it's all about the truth, the higher education, the philosophy, right? So you're here to bring your dreams into reality because Neptune also is retrograde. See, all this is retrograde right there. So you have Neptune, the dreamer, also being retrograde. It's a within kind of thing, right? So bringing those dreams into your reality, the truth about money, the higher education when it comes to your earning ability, because the second house is about, possessions and everything. And this right here where this is placed is your earning ability. So dreaming of bringing that earning ability into your reality. To say once again, I have enough, I am enough, all that good stuff. Alrighty. So now, from turning these dreams into a new reality, your new reality representation here, Pluto in Virgo in the 12th house, and where it's placed is going to be dealing with conscious eternal bliss. Yes, conscious eternal bliss. In that sense for you, and Pluto being in Virgo is a generational thing, but changes in work, health, and tech. So it's something that you want to bring into a new reality of tech that's going to serve your needs and health as well as work. And you can see Virgo is the intuitive nurse. So if that helps you with anything, that is what it's all about there. 2, walk your true path, which is your north node, and it's in Pisces. See, these little guys look like headphones right here. It's in Pisces, and it happens to be in the fifth house, and where its place is going to be dealing with children. And because your north node is in Pisces, it's basically you are here to use your intuition, your true path of using your intuition when it comes to being entertained and entertaining others, especially children. Alrighty. And show the world who you really are. And that's your midheaven, your public image, showing the world who you truly are. And it's in Leo. Alright. So, midheaven in Leo means that you are here to leave a mark, and you have a strong impression on others. You can leave a strong impression on others. You're inspiration. You're like a very inspirational leader. Alrighty. So that is that story. Now we're going to move on to what each house is about and the questions. So we're going to the questions. Here we go. Your first house. The question you ask yourself is, who am I? Right? The house of self. You have always is going to be there, rising in Libra, and your moon also in the house of self is in Ophiuchus. So you are, in a sense, a natural born shaman making choices and finding balance throughout life. Okay, so now we're moving into the second house. The question here is, what do I have? In this sense, you are about what I mentioned earlier, personal resources here, money here, and your earning ability here. And this is like learning here, as I mentioned before. So this is what you have. You have basically the skills to know how to heal and protect the oppressed. You also are a wanderer and a transformer when it comes to your finances. And as I mentioned earlier, you are also, with Neptune, bringing your dreams into this reality. Okay, so that's all about what you have. Now we're going to go into the third house. And the third house is going to say, where am I? And this house, you've mastered it because you see no planets here. But you're somewhere between Sagittarius and Capricorn, so to speak. So in the sense, you have a sense of adventure, but you also like to be grounded and structured in your comings and goings when it comes to dealing with negotiations and early education, as well as relatives and stuff. So that's what that's all about there. You have a pretty good relationship when it comes to relatives and everything. Okay, here we are over here in the fourth house, and the question you want to ask yourself here is, what nourishes me? You are nourished by this part of fortune being in Aquarius and your genetic roots. So like I said, you broke the mold when you came into this world, right? So you're zany, and that's good. It's going to bring you fortune to be like a zany, quirky, innovative kind of person, like a psychic scientist, so to speak, in that sense. Your part of fortune resides there. And once again, as I mentioned before, what is that about to you? It's about empowering yourself and others in innovative and creative ways, right? Okay, so now we're moving over to house 5. And what does the fifth house have to say? What can I imagine? What you can imagine is great things, apparently, because like I said, your north node, which is your path, your soul path, is in Pisces. So in this sense, your intuition will guide you when it comes to entertaining yourself and others, especially the children. All right, now we're moving over to the sixth house. How do I work? Well, this is exactly how you work because you're dealing with work in that specific house, which is the house of health and healing and making your contribution, as well as day-to-day service and day-to-day work. So Jupiter, expansion, and it's also about joy and happiness. And for you, it's like the beginning of everything, taking that initiative, starting something new when it comes to work. Over here, Moving on to the 7th house. Who am I with? This is the house of partnerships and marriage. You know, the one-on-one relationships and everything. So Aries and Taurus are both here. So in a sense, your partners, your marriage partner is a very adventurous person that takes initiative, and then there's also times when the partner wants to just sit back and relax and chill and just stay home. So going out and staying home, there's a balance there, and you've mastered that. All right, so moving on to the 8th house. There are 2 questions to ask yourself in this house. The first question is, what am I becoming? Because that's where the Scorpio resides. And then the second half from this end here is, how do I heal? And for you especially, because Chiron is in Taurus, it's how you heal, and then you can in return heal others as well that have gone through it, and now you help them go through it when it comes to occult involvement. All right, moving on, we're heading over to the 9th house. And the 9th house is, what do I understand? That's why you got that super conscious right here, as I mentioned before. It's all about higher education, spirituality, your philosophy of life. What is it? As I mentioned before, it's your trips and your spiritual journeys, which is what you value most right here. This is your, let me get back to it real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. It's your, higher education over here, and then here we have your, basically your beliefs, right? And then over here, once again, the super conscious. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the 9th house for you, right? Moving over to the 10th house, you want to ask the question here is, what can I accomplish? And from what I see, because your midheaven, your public image is in Leo, what you can accomplish is being an inspirational person to other people to leave a lasting impression. That's what you can accomplish, all right? So moving over to the 11th house of the house of friendship and social groups. Where is my community? Well, you have a pretty good idea of knowing where your community is, because as you could see, the 11th house is mastered, and it happens to be ruled in this sense by Virgo. See, because Virgo's in this house. Well, not ruled, but visiting. Virgo's visiting this house, and that's intuitive nurse. That's a representation of Virgo. So social groups with intuitive nurses, friendship circles, humanity, the collective, it's all up in that house right there in the 11th house. All right, and then the 12th house, your question to ask yourself here is going to be, how do I let go? I call this the house of letting it all go, right? And for you, it's making that new reality when it comes to being an intuitive nurse. So you're making changes in the health environment. You're making changes when it comes to tech. You're making changes when it comes to, work, things like that. So, and then it's all about, for you, your conscious eternal bliss, as I mentioned before. So how do I let go of things that don't serve me any longer so I can focus on the things that do? Okay, so once again, REO, that is your native chart in a nutshell. If you have any feeling or desire to reach out and get some more information, you can reach us at glowinginlove.com at gmail.com and email us there. Once again, I am Adam, and I do this astrology. It's a special astrology called 13 Sign Astrology. It's really cool. Ophiuchus is in there, and it's a sidereal, which is the layout of the stars. And for all of you out there, to like, comment, and share, please, because if this relates to you, go ahead and share it with others, and maybe it relates to them as well. Comment down below if there's anything that you would want to know more about, or, something. So feel free to leave a comment. Please like, please share. Hit the notification bell and get it on the all if you want to hear more things, because we're going to be sharing with you many great things when it comes to astrology. So tune in for next time, and thank you once again, REO.